the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Colin John, and other ranks of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Government Police Force send their heartfelt condolences to the immediate family, relatives, and friends of the late Benjamin Jackson, former Commissioner of Police. Mr. Jackson passed away on November 3, 2022, in Barbados, where he had resided for almost 39 years at the age of 89. On May 1, 1952, he enlisted in the Royal Police Force. He was appointed Commissioner of Police on April 25, 1977, and served in that capacity until January 19, 1984. After almost 31 years of service, he retired from the police force. After his term as Chief of Police, Jackson was assigned as Staff Officer of the Regional Security System RSS in Barbados for 7 years. He eventually served as the Director of Security for a number of Barbados businesses. The decedent was characterized as a Chief of Police who took his duties seriously and wanted the same from his officers. 2 new spaces for vendors in Kingstown are scheduled to be officially opened on Thursday, November 17, 2022. According to the Agency for Public Information API, there will be a ceremony to mark the official openings at the Old Queen's Warehouse opposite CK Graves at 9 a.m. on the set date. The new spaces are the vegetable markets uptown and downtown and are being opened as part of the government's plans to clean up Kingstown and regularize vending. The start of the planned cleanup was previously delayed in July 2022, around the time that Government Senator, Minister of Urban Development, Energy, Airports, Seaports, Grenadines Affairs, and Local Government, Julian Francis, fell ill and had to be flown out of the country for medical attention. Still on the local scene, the Foreign Trade Department of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Government published the first Import-Export Guide for SVG on November 7, 2022. The guide is an essential resource for conducting business in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Officials at the launch stated that it provides investors, entrepreneurs, and other interested parties with one-stop access to valuable information and contact agencies. The president of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Anthony Regisford, spoke at the event and praised the government's decision. "I went through it, and much of the narrative is procedural, but it also captures important headlines such as incentives, special concessions that people may have, and waivers, and then it discusses standards, packaging, and labeling. It includes everything that increases the difficulty of moving goods across international borders." The ministry urges all importers and exporters to become acquainted with the procedure manual. The Office of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Trade, Regional Integration, and the Diaspora has copies of the Import and Export Guide. Individuals can also access the guide online at www.foreign.gov.vc, the ministry's website. In the region, St. Lucia's Ministry of Health and Elderly Affairs has reported an increase in mental health issues since the start of the pandemic. The country's mental health psychiatric nurse practitioner Alicia St. Just gave confirmation, stating, "We experienced the loss of our social spaces, our livelihoods, our incomes, and the loss of friends and family members. There has been much uncertainty, and you find these things bring on mental health issues." The Ministry of Health highlighted the importance of mental health during a mental health awareness motorcade, an activity held for World Mental Health Day on October 10th under the theme Ending Stigma and Discrimination Against Mental Illness. The motorcade took health officials from Castries to McCord as they shared information about mental health, mental illnesses, and how people can take care of themselves. The day's activities included free mental status examinations, psychotherapy, blood pressure, and diabetes check. Regarding mental health, officials said education is the solution when stigma and discrimination prevent people from seeking treatment for mental illness. More in the region. A 20-year-old Barrackpore, Trinidad woman was fined $600 after confessing to making a false report that she had been kidnapped. Appellate judges Mark Mohammed and Mariah Wilson upheld Lisa Figaro's appeal and resentenced her during a virtual hearing on Thursday. According to evidence in the case, on January 31st, 2020, Figaro's sister went to the Barrackpore police station and reported her sister missing, with Figaro following just over an hour behind, claiming that she was abducted. While being interrogated by police, Figaro admitted that she fabricated the story as she had gone to line with a friend and did not want her boyfriend and family to find out. Figaro was charged with wasteful employment of police time and fined after pleading guilty during her first court appearance. TNT's Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions DPP, Nigel Pilgrim, admitted that the magistrate who presided over Figaro's claim did not follow legal precedents over sentencing first-time offenders with bright prospects. In resentencing Figaro, the appeal panel ruled that reprimand and discharge under Section 71 of Trinidad's Summary Courts Act was appropriate considering her remorse, clean criminal record, and her age at the time of the offense. And on the international scene, slight relaxations of COVID-19 restrictions in China come as Xi Jinping was reinstated as party leader for a historic third term, though the country has seen an increase in COVID-19 cases in recent months. China's zero COVID policy has saved many lives in the country of 1.4 billion people, but also dealt a punishing blow to the economy and ordinary people's lives. There is also increasing public fatigue over lockdowns and travel restrictions. Mr. Xi Jinping held his first COVID meeting with his newly elected standing committee on Thursday, where it was disclosed that quarantine for close contacts will be cut from 7 days in a state facility to 5 days and 3 days at home. Officials will also stop recording secondary contacts, meaning many people will avoid having to quarantine. China's National Health Commission, NHC, insisted the changes did not amount to relaxing prevention and control, let alone opening up, but were instead designed to adapt to a changing COVID situation. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Jessica Klein. Join us again at 5:30 p.m. for WEFM's evening news, and we thank you for listening.
SPG, are you ready for the NTRC's 2022 I-Code 784 competition grand finale on November 18th,